There's a plant called comfrey growing in a ditch behind an Amish farmhouse in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. It has broad, hairy leaves, small purple flowers, and roots so sticky that when you boil them down, the paste will literally glue pieces of meat back together. That is not a metaphor. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder wrote that exact observation 2,000 years ago. This plant, a member of the Boraginaceae family, has been used to heal broken bones, torn ligaments, crushed fingers, sprained ankles, and battlefield wounds for over 2,400 years. Its Latin name, Symphytum, comes from the Greek word symphio, meaning I grow together. Its German name, Beinwell, translates literally to bone well, as in an agent that makes bones grow together. The English called it knit bone, because that is exactly what it does. And in July of 2001, the United States government told you it was too dangerous to use. This video is about what they did not want you to know, and more importantly, why. You are sitting in your kitchen right now with a medicine cabinet full of pills. You have got ibuprofen for your back. You have got naproxen for your knee. You have got a tube of diclofenac gel your doctor prescribed last year that cost you $40 after insurance. And every single one of those products comes with a list of side effects that reads like a horror novel. Stomach bleeding, kidney damage, cardiovascular risk, liver toxicity. You accept those risks because you assume there is no alternative. You assume that if something better existed, your doctor would have told you about it. You assume the system is designed to give you the best option available. It is not. There is a clinical trial, a real double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled study that compared comfrey root cream directly against diclofenac gel, a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, NSAID, the same pharmaceutical gel sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. After 7 days of treatment, the comfrey cream reduced pain at rest by 92%. Diclofenac reduced it by 85%. The comfrey cream reduced pain during motion by 83%. Diclofenac managed 72%. Ankle swelling went down by nearly 80% with comfrey. Diclofenac only achieved 69%. When the researchers reevaluated the data, the comfrey root extract did not just match the pharmaceutical, it showed statistically significant superiority. The p-value was 0.0012. That is not folk wisdom. That is not anecdote. That is a clinical trial published in a peer-reviewed journal showing that a plant you can grow in your backyard outperformed one of the most commonly prescribed anti-inflammatory drugs on the planet. Now let me tell you how. This plant actually works, because the science is remarkable. Inside the root of the comfrey plant is a compound called allantoin. It makes up about 0.6 to 0.8% of the dried root mass. Allantoin is a potent cell proliferator. That means it stimulates the growth of healthy new tissue, accelerates wound healing, and reduces scar formation. It increases the water content inside your cells, fights moisture loss in the skin, and promotes what scientists call cellular remodeling. The plant also contains mucilage, a gel-like polysaccharide that forms the sticky, healing matrix comfrey is famous for. Allantoin was first isolated in 1800 by an Italian physician named Michel Francesco Buniva and a French chemist named Louis-Nicolas Vauquelin. They found it in amniotic fluid, the fluid that surrounds and protects a developing baby. That is the same compound sitting in the roots of a plant growing wild along every riverbank in Europe. But allantoin is only part of the story. Comfrey also contains rosmarinic acid, a powerful anti-inflammatory. Together, these compounds do something that no single pharmaceutical on the market replicates. They reduce pain, reduce swelling, and actively stimulate the regeneration of damaged tissue. In a 2007 German study, 220 patients with osteoarthritis of the knee were treated with comfrey ointment or a placebo. The results were not subtle. 55% of the comfrey group reported significant decreases in pain. The placebo group, and 11%. The comfrey group also reported significant improvements in mobility and quality of life. A separate trial of 215 people with back pain confirmed the same pattern. Another trial on 142 patients with acute ankle sprains showed the Comfrey cream was decisively superior to placebo, with p-values below 0.0001 for both pain and swelling reduction. These are not fringe studies. These are multi-center, double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled clinical trials, the gold standard of medical evidence. And every one of them was published after the FDA told Americans this plant was too dangerous to use. The ancient Greeks knew about this plant by 400 B.C. Herodotus recorded its use for stopping severe bleeding. Dioscorides, the Greek physician who served as medical officer to the Roman army under Nero, prescribed Comfrey for healing wounds, broken bones, and respiratory problems. His text, De Materia Medica, shaped European and Arabic medicine for nearly 2,000 years. Galen wrote about it. Hildegard von Bingen documented it extensively. This remarkable 12th century Benedictine abbess, considered the mother of German herbalism, described Comfrey's bone-healing properties in her medical texts, Physica and Causae et Curae, noting that it could heal fractures when applied as poultices. Her writings helped preserve botanical medicine through the Dark Ages. In the 1500s, the Swiss physician Paracelsus looked at this plant and said something that still echoes. He said, and I am quoting him directly, "To what purpose do you superadd vinegar to the root of Comfrey, while God hath composed this simple sufficient to cure the fracture of bones?" Sufficient. That was the word he used. God made it sufficient. Why are you adding to it? Medieval monks in the Cistercian and Benedictine orders grew Comfrey in their monastery gardens specifically to heal soldiers returning from war. In medieval Wales, healers made bone union potions by combining Comfrey with wine, pepper, and honey for 9 days. They discovered that the gummy roots, when spread on muslin and wrapped around a fracture, would stiffen into a natural cast from a plant. Nicholas Culpeper, the herbalist who spent his life trying to give the poor access to affordable medicine, wrote about Comfrey in 1656. He said, "It is said to be so powerful to consolidate and knit together, that if they be boiled with dissevered pieces of flesh in a pot, it will join them together again." Then there are the Amish. They never stopped using it. One Amish carpenter crushed his finger badly enough that modern medicine predicted permanent stiffness. He wrapped it in fresh Comfrey leaves twice a day. He regained nearly full mobility. Stories like that are why Comfrey has never left their medicinal gardens. The Amish did not need a clinical trial to know it worked. They had something better. Centuries of continuous use, passed from one generation to the next, never interrupted, never forgotten. Now, here is what you need to know if you want to use this yourself. Comfrey is a perennial herb. It is cold hardy down to -35 degrees Celsius. It is drought tolerant. It grows in damp ground, along ditches, near rivers, in garden beds. Once you plant it, it comes back every year. For external use, you take fresh leaves, crush them, and apply them directly to the skin as a poultice over sprains, bruises, or areas of joint pain. You can also make a salve from the root. Some people infuse the dried root in oil over several weeks, then mix it with beeswax. Now I need to be straight with you about something important. Do not take Comfrey internally. The plant contains compounds called pyrrolizidine alkaloids that can cause serious liver damage when ingested. The FDA ban on oral Comfrey products in 2001 was based on real cases of liver toxicity. A 13-year-old boy who drank Comfrey tea developed liver disease. A young man in New Zealand who ate steamed Comfrey leaves died of liver failure. External use is a different matter entirely. A 2020 study showed that the primary alkaloid in Comfrey, lycopsamine, is poorly absorbed through intact human skin. The German Commission E, Europe's scientific authority on herbal medicine, officially approves Comfrey preparations for external treatment of bruises, sprains, and closed injuries. While the FDA banned internal use, the European Medicines Agency officially approves pyrrolizidine alkaloid-free Comfrey preparations for topical use. Licensed PA-free Comfrey products are available today in Germany with no restrictions on treatment duration. Keep it on intact skin. Do not use it on open wounds. Limit application to no more than 10 consecutive days, no more than 6 weeks per year. Do not use it if you are pregnant, nursing, or have liver disease. If your grandmother ever wrapped a swollen ankle in broad green leaves and it was better by morning, now you know why. If your grandfather kept a patch of it growing behind the barn and never told anyone exactly what it was for, now you understand. This knowledge is 2,400 years old. It was validated by Dioscorides, confirmed by Paracelsus, preserved by monks, carried by the Amish, and proven in clinical trials that most doctors have never read. Drop a comment and tell me if you have ever used Comfrey or if someone in your family grew it. I want to hear those stories. And if you believe that real knowledge about real plants has been quietly pushed aside so that someone else could sell you a $40 tube of gel that does not work as well, you already know what to do next. There is another plant the Amish never stopped growing. One that was legal in every state in America until one man, one newspaper owner, and one Treasury secretary decided it threatened their profits. That story is next.